Do you want to know step by step how to actually make a plan that will get you results? That's what we're going to talk about in this episode of College on Fleek. Hi, I'm Mary Dittman. I'm an award-winning business professor on the collegiate level and the creator of One-Derful Life and College on Fleek. Most people have the goal of doing well. So as a college student, I know that your goal every semester is to do well in your classes and maybe find a job or hold down your job. If you're an athlete, it's to excel in your sport. Maybe if you're in a student organization, you want to participate, maybe hold an office. A lot of times when we start out, we have a desire to excel and to do well, and then somewhere along the way, things just kind of blow up and we end up with results that we didn't want. None of my students start any semester saying, I really want to get a D this semester. Of course, they all want to get A's and B's, but a lot of times at some point in the semester, things kind of fall apart and then maybe they are just praying for a D. So in this episode, I'm going to really show you step by step how to plan things, because I'm just going to tell you that nothing worthwhile is going to just happen, okay, or just fall into place for you. You have to take the action steps. One of my former students came to speak to one of my classes one time, and one thing that he kept saying to them was, you have to stay on mission. And I love that. It really stuck with me because it reminds me, stay on course. Well, how do you know what your mission is if you don't have your orders? Like if you were in the military, like on the Navy SEAL team or something, you would have a plan. You would have a particular mission, an outcome that you were striving for, and you would have a step-by-step plan of how you're going to execute that mission. And that's what I want to show you how to do today. Now, I do a version of this for myself, and as we go through, I'll show you what I do, but I'll also adapt that to what could work for you in a semester. One of the things that I do is at the beginning of every year, every calendar year, I set forth a list of goals or things that I would like to be, do, or have in the year. And the way I think about it is on December 31st, what do I want to have been? What do I want to have done? What do I want to have in my life at the end of the year? But now it's really hard to execute a goal that's 12 months long. So I break my goals into monthly goals. Now, I think it's great if you want to set a yearly goal, but I would suggest setting semester goals. And actually, semester goals are really a perfect length of time because you're talking about roughly 120 days, around 4 months. That's a great amount of time for your brain to deal with. So you set your semester goals. The next thing I do is I set monthly goals. Now, I created an actual form for myself, and I'll be happy to share this with you if you want it. Guys, I'm not sure if you're going to like it in pink, but you could make a version for yourself. And what I do is every month I say, okay, I look at my year-long goals and I say, what do I need to accomplish this month to get to where I want to be by the end of the year? So what you might do is you might say, if one of your semester goals is, I want to get a 4.0 this semester, okay, so in the first month, whether that's January, whether that's May, because you're taking summer classes, maybe it's August, what are the things that have to happen this month in order for me to make that 4.0? Now, what I do is every month I come up with 10 goals, okay? And they're not things like go to class. I mean, that's something that you're going to be doing anyway, okay? It shouldn't be like take a shower and brush your teeth. Come on. But the way that I was trained to goal set is to look through your goals, get them all down on paper, and then your 10 goals are usually going to require one of three things, okay? Time or energy or money. And what I do is I go through each of my 10 goals and I write down what is that going to take for me? Do I need time? Do I need energy? Do I need money? And then when I look down that list of my goals and I see, okay, I really need energy, I come up with an 11th goal. And my mentor calls that a push goal, meaning it's kind of like a domino. If you got that one goal accomplished, it would help the other 10 fall in line. So that's what I do. One of the goals that I had for this month as I'm filming is to complete an online class that I'm taking. It's an entrepreneurship class and I'm taking it as a student. It's self-paced, and so my goal was to finish that this month. Now I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not going to finish it this month, and that's okay. I'm not going to beat myself up about it. But then when I sit down to do my goals for next month, that's going to be on the top of the list. So every week I sit down with that monthly goal sheet and I make out a weekly goal sheet. So what has to happen this week for me to make forward progress on this monthly goal? And I do the same thing. So I write down 10 things that I'd like to see happen, and then what do I need for my push goal to make that stuff happen? And listen, I don't get upset about it, okay? A lot of times I write it in pencil because I might go back and change it. And if you can't come up with 10, don't worry about it. If you can't come up with a push goal, don't worry about it. Like, don't get stressed out about it. But what I do is every morning then I can look back on my weekly goal sheet every morning when I'm looking at my day, and I can see, okay, wait a minute, what's important? Like what do I need to be working on every day to be where I want to be at the end of the week? Now in just a second, I'm going to tell you about the daily part of planning, but let's take a quick break. Check this out.
Are you struggling with low grades? If you're like most students, you just don't have the right tools in your toolbox. The truth is, nobody ever taught you how to study. I can relate. I'm Mary Dittman. When I was in high school and college, I had terrible test anxiety. There were many times where the only thing on my paper was my name, and I had legit studied. And I was in trouble, but I came up with a study method that worked for me. And when I started teaching on the college level, I found that many of my students also struggle with test anxiety. And so I started teaching the method to them as well. The Study Smart Toolkit has literally helped hundreds of students just like you over the years. In this free training, I show you step by step how to study. You have lifetime access. You can watch it anytime you want to from your phone, your tablet, your laptop, and it works for any class, any major, any school. Now, I can't make a guarantee, but I can just tell you what I've seen with my students. The students who use the techniques in the Study Smart Toolkit go from D's and F's to A's and B's on the very next test. You want better grades with less time studying, go to bit.ly/Study Smart Toolkit and get the College on Fleek Study Smart Toolkit for yourself.
Welcome back. Everybody has a goal that they want to accomplish. And when you're breaking it down by semester, again, let's say your goal is you want to get a 4.0 and you want to be on the president's list. And so you break it out each month of what are your goals each month to make that happen. And then each week, what am I doing to make forward progress on this? Well, that's all great, but if you don't daily, every single day, take action steps towards those goals, you're not going to see a result. I've told this story before and I'm going to tell it again. My dad used to play golf with his mother, and my dad is he's a solid guy, and he's a very good golfer. He's very strong and powerful, and he would play golf with his mom, and she was built like me. She was a petite woman. She wasn't particularly athletic. She golfed, but she wasn't a regular golfer, but they'd go play golf. And she would beat my dad every time, and he would not let her win. My dad doesn't let people win. Now, my dad could hit that ball harder and farther than my grandmother could. But he'd get up to the tee, and he'd hit that ball, and it would slice off to the left or hook off to the right. And then my little grandmother would get up there and she would hit the ball. She didn't hit it as far, but she hit it straight. And so she would just blink, 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 doink, and she was right in the hole. She beat my dad all the time because just by shooting straight, hitting the ball straight. Doink, doink, doink. Little action steps got her there. Meanwhile, my dad's off in the sand trap or over in the swamp looking for his golf ball. So my point is, tiny action steps every day are what are going to help you get results. Now in our next episode, I'm going to show you a technique that I use and many of my students have found a tremendous amount of success with it. So join us on our next episode. Remember, you can go to collegeonfleek.com and we have lots of cool gear there for you and resources. That's where you can find your Study Smart Toolkit, or you can go to bit.ly/Study Smart Toolkit. College on Fleek is a dialogue, not a monologue, and we want to hear from you. I want to know, what do you think? What are you going to make a plan for? Put that in the comments and let us know. And thank you for watching. We'll see you next time right here on College on Fleek.